I'm Victoria. I'm Vanessa. Yeah, it's okay if you can't tell us apart. I guess we would call it Twingineering. Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back
to our 20th episode of Twingineering. If this is your first time here, welcome to episode 20. Please go back to episode 1. Just kidding. But if this is your first time here, just to give you a little background, we made this podcast as a resource for Latinas and other minorities in engineering. And when we started adding some guests, I think this provided a lot more information and just became a better resource for perspectives and experiences that Victoria and I were not able to give. So today we have another special guest, Yessica. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Yessica Jimenez. I am from Cali, Colombia. I work for Honda in the PE exterior team. I am prototyping engineering. You guys are gonna learn a lot about me. For now, that's perfect.
That's good.
Yay.
Got it. Yes, we're excited to get to know you. So I'll take it from here. So we usually start off with some weekly highs and lows just to get the conversation flowing. But we'll start off with some weekly lows so that we can bring the energy up after. Vanessa, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. So weekly low for me, I think it was like Friday night. I was like, I'm gonna get in the shower, go to bed, whatever. And then when I got in the shower, my water wasn't draining, and I was like, that's weird. This never happens. And then I got out of the shower, and there was like water coming out of my toilet, and I was like, but like the bottom, like the base, not like that. It was not overflowing. I would have cried. But it was lace, and I just put like towels around the toilet, and then I was like, I will deal with this in the morning. I'm gonna go to bed. And then so I went to bed, and then in the morning, like everything was like drained, like the water didn't sound weird, like nothing was leaking anymore. I still called maintenance though. And then they came back and they said like everything was fine. So I was like, okay. So it was only that one part of the night where I felt like my water doesn't work and I will cry if it doesn't work in the morning, but then it did. So
Yeah.
yes.
Sometimes you just have to like ignore it
I know.
and then hopes and prayers.
Yeah. What about you, Victoria?
For me, actually this happened this morning. So Vanessa made me a mug. Because she like does ceramics classes, and she sent it over to me, and then she was like, when you use it, take a picture. And then I was like, okay. So then I was gonna use it because I was making coffee this morning, and there was a hole at the bottom, or a crack. So when I like poured the milk in, it started coming. Like I lifted it and it started dripping. I was like, oh my god. So then I had to get like napkins. Anyway, so now I'm using this mug that does not have a crack at the bottom. But so that was a little sad. It was cute. It had like a little, the handle was like a hand. Like you could see the fingers.
I was trying to remake it. You could put nuts in it though.
Yeah, I will.
You can put a band-aid.
And see how long that'll last. You
Yeah.
have to drink fast.
But it's gonna look cute.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I was doing kayaking.
Oh,
And I've been running a lot recently. And I knew it, two of my nails, my toenails, they're going to fall, but I didn't know when. And they fall yesterday. I was putting like sunscreen because my toe was there, and I just touched it and the nail just fly. I was like, oh no. And the little toe looked so bad. I was like, oh no. And after that, I tried to put like some nail polish. Ooh, no, it looked horrendous. But I have faith at some point of my life, the nail is coming back.
Yeah.
It'll come back. It'll grow.
You
Yeah.
can just put a band-aid. Just like the mug.
Guys work for anything in your life. Your heart is broke, a band-aid.
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 Like a curse, band-aid, it's fine.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
plants die, it's a band-aid.
Band-Aid. No water, just a Band-Aid.
Wow, I didn't know that works for so many things. Can I
Yeah.
use it? I have one that is dying in front of me right now.
That's funny.
That was great.
So we can move on to the weekly highs. Let's get the positive vibes going. I'll start. So I recently started like an internship like outside of work. It's like after work. It's like 8 hour, like a part-time internship for this what they're called the Great One-Eighters. Well, the organization's called the Woke, but they're like the same. They can be used interchangeably, and I do like event planning and production for the community here, like the 818 area code, the Valley, San Fernando Valley. So I'm really excited about that. I just started, and it's gonna be 6 months. So I'm excited to plan like events in the valley for the community. They're a little bit different. Like the first one is more like community vibes, and then I think one of our like later ones in the year, it's like more of a dance competition, like dance battles. So people are invited from like all over the world to come in and like freestyle and do battles. So I'm excited to see that and like see them all come to life. And also my LLC was formed like in May, but like we haven't done a podcast since then. So I'm now officially announcing it on our podcast. So yes, lots of work to do, but like at least it's formed.
Yes.
But yeah. What about you, Vanessa?
Okay, so I have two things. One, last weekend, yeah, I did goat yoga. So it's like yoga, but there's goats walking around and they can walk on you. And one did help me with my form. But they were so cute. Like I was feeding one and then I took a picture with one. They're wearing bathing suits and diapers. So that was cute. And then before that, my parents came to visit me 2 weeks ago, and that was like the first time they've been at like my new apartment since I moved out here. So that was kind of nice. We did a few things, like I took days off and we were like walking a lot, and they're like, "Can we just sit?" And I was like, "Okay." But it was fun. So yeah.
For me, well, I think the most excited thing is that I finally finished my rotation in well department, so I don't have to wake up at midnight to go to work at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or perhaps every Saturday or every Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
That's great. Now I come back to my new team and I can actually be a normal person. I have a good life, and I can sleep normally, and I can eat normally. So I think it's gonna be good for my mental health.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I'm excited for that. That was a
Yes.
good-
We love good mental health.
We do.
Yes, I'm working on it.
Same.
Something new that we learned in our current role or something new that we tried.
Yeah, I have something. The thing is, like, I'm very new in my new role.
Yeah.
Like I need to start this week.
Yeah.
Like on Monday. But like in general, I think it's more about I learned that our job is very based in the future. Like we don't work in a like a mass pro. So that give us more time to actually like understand better like how the car works, like how you actually make a car and how to make it better. And I think that it's amazing that we can work in the future and see the people driving those cars. It's actually feels amazing. Feels like you're doing something good. So
Yeah.
I like it. that's what I have learned so far.
That's
And
good.
we love that. Yeah, that's good.
I don't remember the last time we did this podcast or like filmed one, but I recently started biking too. I was trying like everything, and I was like, why not do everything I want to try? But yeah,
I
it's
try
been
hot yoga and I pass out and I puke, but it's fine.
Yeah, at least you tried it.
I know.
I tried for an entire week, by the way.
Hey, A for effort. That was good.
And I try. Try.
Yeah, but my bike is like a hybrid, so it's like not a mountain bike and not specifically a road bike. So it's like you can do both, but obviously it doesn't go as fast as a road bike. And then like, but it will get you through like trails and stuff too. So I'm like, okay, because I didn't know exactly what I wanted. And then but yeah, I've just been like biking. Um yeah, that's pretty much it. I learned how to I learned how to bike again.
Yeah. For me, I think it was like just learning like what goes into like events and planning. Because like I started the internship like last week, but like there's like so many like I guess like moving parts. Like you need like vendors, you need talent, like ideas and like activities for people to do and like want to actually stay, like not just like, oh, like they walk through and they're like, okay, that's it, like let's leave. So like, because I think it's like 8 hours, like this event. So like you have to like keep it going. And like one of our events is going to be like a live stream. So we have to think of like challenges, things to do, like how do we keep people entertained? So it's just like interesting to learn and like be a part of. Because like when you like go to these events, um like there's a lot of these kinds of events in LA, like farmers markets or like just vendors and all this stuff. Like you just think like, oh, people just come. But there's like so many things that you have to like do and like think about. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I'm learning now.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. So we can now move on to the theme. The theme is Yessica, so yay.
Wow. So
So
big.
yeah, we're excited to learn more about you today. So why did you choose to study material science and engineering?
Well, long time ago, feels like it, when I was 18. I'm 32 now, so it's been a while. One, I finished school, like high school, and I was like, so what am I supposed to study? And in Colombia, we have a thing that we call it SENA. SENA is like a technological school that you just go to get like a degree in 2 years. And after that, you can just work in any company. You're not an engineer, you're a technician, but still they give you good pay, and with that money you might be able to start school, actually, like your professional life, and pay your school while you're actually working. So I was like, okay, because it's for free. They even pay me for like the bus and the food and the books,
nice.
like everything. So I did that for 2 years, and what I studied there was injection molding. So it has everything to do with materials also, but especially like plastics materials. And my professor is like, he already retired, but he loves so much like give the people like knowledge that he keeps like just working pretty much for free. Like he was just very passionate about it, and I think his passion for materials like kind of touched me somehow.
Yeah.
So when I got the opportunity to came to this country, I was like, well, I think I should give it a try. And material science, what gave me the opportunity is like to like see all the materials, not just like polymers. Because I was thinking I study polymer sciences, but polymers is too narrow. Like it's just that. And I feel like, well, if I study all the materials, I think that will give me a better view of what I can really do with this degree.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much, I think, was my professor in Colombia. That's the reason why. And my mom always told me, Jessica, study something that can actually give you money to buy something. No, it's just like, you need to eat every day. You need to remember that. It's like, well, I mean, if I study the art of the movement, that's not gonna work. So
I know.
engineering will give you a little bit more of money than that to actually live a pretty decent life.
Yeah.
And that was another big motivation.
Yeah.
Our next question to you would be, what motivated you to pursue a career in manufacturing and automotive industry?
That's a good one. Well, at the same time, in Colombia, uh, the same professor. So because that was polymers, but they were the injection machines, right? So he always make us close our eyes and listen the machine. So he always say that the machine has the answer. He was that kind of professor that when you were like in the room, he has different plastics, like objects that he got in the store or something, and he throw you, and you have to touch it, and you have to tell him which material is without seeing it, without like a
Oh,
good
wow.
guess.
Yeah.
And that is how you like still until this day, when I touch something, I know what material is. Like 99% of the times I know what it is.
Oh my God.
And it's from that time. And I was like, well, that's awesome. So when I start to think about the future in my career, I was like, I want to do something that can help society and can actually fulfill my dreams.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, if I study material science and nuclear engineering, and now I'm here, and I like machines, and I also like cars, well, let's work for a car company. And I feel like everything kind of clicked.
Yeah.
So I really like when they pay me just for driving a car. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this actually is working. And I really like the opportunity to see like how everything start, like how it's just metal and they stamp some metal and they
Yeah.
start from there. And after that, after a couple hours, you see a whole car.
Yeah.
And the car looks amazing. I mean, it's like that blew my mind. And I like it that it's different materials. It's like metals and plastics. So I had the opportunity to kind of see them all. And I still feel the same passion that I feel when I was 19. So I
Mhm.
think that's a good sign.
Yeah. It is very
Yeah.
interesting. And it's also like nice when it clicks and you're like, wow, like you get to see the growth of something or something being put together.
Yeah.
Engineering.
Yay.
Did it.
No, yeah, I was gonna say something similar to Vanessa. Like I'm glad you found that like middle, or like, you know what I mean? That like where everything kind of like plays a part. So I love that for you.
Thank you.
So you're the first in your family to speak another language and pursue a degree in another country. What were some of your biggest struggles and what kept you motivated, and like how did you overcome them?
Well, it's been a long road. That's what I feel. Like the journey has been exhausting mostly. And it's because I never give up. And that is the main focus for me, is that my family is really small. And I always wanted to give them everything that I can, because my grandpa, they always say, even if your job is just you like the broom, I don't know, just the broom to clean a house, do it the best that you can. Like always
Yeah.
give the best of you, even if it's something small, even if it looks like something stupid. It's stupid for somebody else, but for you it needs to mean something. Otherwise, it will be nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, that is exactly what I wanted. But I remember, like, I still remember one time I got my first job was selling ice cream. That was very interesting. And but my second job was in Chipotle,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to study English. So in Chipotle, I just, in the kitchen, cutting tomatoes, everything, doing the guac, the
Mhm.
rice, chips. And I was like, okay. But one day I went to the school to ask like what kind of papers I have to do and stuff to actually get a scholarship, or how much I can get a loan. And so I have the clothes and I smell like chimichanga and Doritos. And I was like, okay, let's go. And they start speaking to me and I couldn't understand it. Of course, I couldn't, but I feel so frustrated. Like the frustration got
Mhm.
inside of my bones. Like that was so bad. And I told the person, like, can you just 1 minute. And I went outside and I put myself in knees and I started crying. Like I
Oh,
was so frustrated. The frustration was beyond anything. And I cleaned my tears and I come back and I was like, okay, let's do this again. You speak slowly.
yeah, yeah,
Can you please put it in Google Translate? And so we can talk.
yeah,
Because I'm not understanding anything, and this is frustrating me so much. And I really put a lot of effort, and I smell like chimichanga, and I've been working the whole day since 6 a.m. and I'm really tired, but I really want to do this.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was like, please, like some people doesn't understand how much effort takes to do it. Like I used to work with a small book that says small things in English that I like. My name is, nice to meet you. My house is this one. My mom phone is this
Yeah.
one. If I got in an accident, because I couldn't speak, nothing, and my mom
Yeah.
neither. So
Yeah.
that's pretty. Like, so what I supposed to do now? And now she asking me questions, and it's like, oh man. But the whole road, it's been good. I've been brave, I will say, to like affront all the challenges that is being. I've been crying thousands of times eventually on the road, but it's been very worth it. I have an uncle in a wheelchair that he needs a lot of help.
Mhm.
So every time that I make money selling chipotle, I always give him like a wheelchair, or he needs a new bed, or if he needs something, or I give money to my grandpa to pay like the bills. And now we're trying to send money often so he doesn't have to work. He's
Mhm.
almost 80 years old, and he's been taking care of my uncle for almost 30 years. So it's enough. He needs help.
Yeah.
And I think that is what makes it worth it. That is what makes you wake up every day and try it again, because you know they need you more than what you need yourself very much sometimes.
Yeah.
And I like it. It's just very, very tiring. Sometimes I never give up, and I never actually say no, I'm not gonna do it, but I thought about it. I thought about quitting many times. I was like,
Yeah.
what if I just throw all this to the window and I just come back to my country and I start again? Like, who needs to learn English anyways? But I did. I did it. And I was like, okay, Jessica, no, stop it. Stop it. So I do that. And I just
Yeah.
put my clothes again and I start again. And I think it's been it's been great. It's been great. Now that I see like everything that I have done, I'm just like, well, it took me like 7 years, but who is counting?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. I think it's been great, and the opportunity that I have to talk to all of you and all the stuff that makes the world even better. I like it a lot.
Yeah. And everyone's like journey is different, but I also like you mentioned, especially like first generation, like
Mm.
Victoria and I are first generation, but we also knew English. So it's like we like understand the struggle of like being in college and like trying to learn engineering for the first time, and like we didn't have tutors growing up, or like I couldn't ask my mom for help because she just like, just try your hardest, I'll pray for you. And then I was like, yes, but how do I get this answer to this math problem? You
I'll pray
know?
for you, mom. That's not gonna give me the answer.
I
Okay?
know.
I pray for myself too. Look at me now.
Yeah, like I think like throughout college too, I was like I could relate to like what you were saying, how you're like just like never give up, like you think of quitting so many times and you're like, but that's not an
Yeah.
option. So like you have to like literally just keep going, and that's what I tell people too. I'm like, just like it's such like a mental battle where you're like, like breaking down. You're like, I can't do this anymore. But like you literally have to. Like there's no choice. So it's like,
It is no choice. That you have to give yourself no choice. That's the problem. When
yeah,
you give
like
yourself choice is when you start like, oh yeah, so I don't have to do it. What do you mean you don't have to do it? You do.
I know. I was like, I can't. There's no like this is the only path. So just suck it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, like me and Vanessa like look at each other, we're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's just keep going.
Like you go into the exam, I don't know any
Oh,
answers,
man.
I don't know anything, but you keep going. The test is gonna finish, the class is gonna be done at in 2 hours. So do what you can in those 2 hours. Like it'll be 8 a.m. at some point or whenever the class finishes, 10.
Oh my God. Those
But
classes challenge your mind and yourself. Like they just play games with you. It's so strange. It's so strange. I swear. It's like a psychopath. He's like, why are you
I
looking at me? The professor with the exam. It's
oh my
like,
God. Like you're kidding. This is the wrong one, I think. This is the wrong exam.
I'm not in this class.
I know.
Oh my God, that would be great if the professor know you the whole time. You say, no, I'm not in this class. I'm sorry.
Oh my
That'll be
God.
shocking. I love it. I want to say that.
I think it's also like the motivation from like doing good when like you do have times where you're like, oh, I did well in this lab. Oh, like I saw how this works and it's really exciting. And then it's like, oh, like okay, maybe I can, And it's not, but I've like doubted myself more times and I was like, yeah, girl, this is for you. But like now I'm like, you look back and you're like, okay, it was all for something.
That's
Um,
all.
yeah. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Just go for an ice cream after that.
I know, seriously. Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Literally, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
So you've had experience being a student research assistant. How does this compare to your experience in industry, and what motivated you to take a research assistant position?
So my research has a lot of phases, you can say. The first one I was doing when I was in the community college in Cleveland, and that was for NASA. We were doing like a research in algae, and they were trying to make like a kind of like a polymer that it will be like really good for the environment kind of thing. That was in a green, we call it extreme greenhouse, and that was a big greenhouse. When I finished that research, what happened that I get an opportunity to go to Costa Rica to do a research. And I was like, oh, so that's so excited.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I'm not a biologist, I'm an engineer. But I was like, well, I can take the risk. How difficult can be? Yeah, well, that was pretty difficult. So I went to Costa Rica and I lived in the jungle, for 2 months. 3 snakes tried to bite me. I saw a jaguar when I was running. I swear, I saw so many things that can kill you in one place for 2 months. That was crazy. Even the peccaries are like a little pigs that they look at you like they want to bite you. And if they bite you, they can even take your bone for it. They're so strong. They're super strong. It's like, oh no. So when you get there, they teach you all these kind of stakes and which ones can kill you and which one can just be painful but not kill you. All these frogs, depending on the color, that they can kill you and they cannot kill you. And I was like, what I'm doing here, anyways. My mind, anyways. So my research was great. I learned a lot about pH because my research was about pH. So I did hikings of like 5 hours, 10 hours to get different extremes to get the water that I needed to do the experiments. And the experiments can run through the whole morning, like 4 a.m. and Jessica is still doing it. So that was my first like real experience for a research. From that, I got a publication in Costa Rica. So that's great. After that, I decided that, yeah, let's do more research. So I started doing a research assistant in Ohio State University. I did it for a little bit. It wasn't really long. It was just like a year or something. But you know, you don't go often. You go like once a week, once every 2 weeks. You run the experiments, you get your data, and you start analyzing. Analyzing is the biggest part. So it's very different than job. Like a job, it's nothing like this. Like you don't have time to spare. You don't have a lot of time to just get there and analyze it. You do have to analyze, but you have to be very quick. Like you cannot just stay there and say, yeah, I can do it next week. It's not next week. Next
Yeah.
week it's not in this line. So
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference is the fast paced. Like you have to really work on time and you need to be on track because everything has a schedule and time is equal to money.
Yeah.
In a research, you have a lot of time because you have a budget and whatever happened with that budget, nobody cares. But in a company, every minute that you have for that, like that thing that you're doing, but you're not using it to do that, to do something else, is money that the company is like losing. So that makes a big, huge difference. When I was doing that, at the same time, I did another research and I traveled to Brazil and I live in Brazil for 3 months in Rio de Janeiro. And I did a research for composite materials for bumpers of cars in the University of Rio de Janeiro. That was more like working. So everything depends of what kind of research you're doing too. Okay. So when you travel so far and you're living there, you get into the culture that makes everything different too. So they have their own guidelines and everything that they have to do. So my research was a 2 years research that I started. So they brought students from Rio de Janeiro, from Sao Paulo, I think it was Germany, Ukraine or something, like many students, and they were working in pieces of the same research everywhere. And that was very exciting, but that was a fast paced again. And that's when you can feel that it's real, that you have to go every day and you have to do the experiments, and the experiments is like on time and you have to have the data fast and analyzing everything quick. And I was like, okay, this is more like how the job will look like. So I really like that one. And I was a research assistant again in Portuguese. I don't even speak Portuguese.
Did you learn any? Sorry.
Yes. Oh. I was like Portuñol, that they call it.
Okay.
So it's like Spanish Portuguese, like.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I can speak that.
Yeah.
They're close to each other. And I always say, and people think I'm lying. I'm not lying. I don't lie. It's 2 languages in the world that everyone speaks. The first one is the language of the money. You have money, honey, you don't really need to speak much because you say, I want that and I have this, give it to me, thank you, bye. That's it. And the other is the language of the love. Fine. And eventually people around you will try to help you. And that's how I survived in Brazil. Pretty much. But that was a great experience. I highly recommend to everyone who listens this to take those opportunities and like take it foolish, travel to other countries. Don't be afraid to like get involved in another culture, even if it's months. It's so good for you. Like it's time. It's like my me time, but in a long term, because you're living alone, away from your family, your friends. Everything is new. A new language, new house, new place to work. And the network, it's amazing because now your network is beyond languages. Like you get a big network in another country and you never know when you're gonna need it. Yeah. So I think it was just a great opportunity. Every single of my research so far has been a great opportunity. I would do it again if I can. Definitely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool to hear. I'm like, wow, you live so many lives.
I know.
No, I totally feel it. 100%. I feel old. I feel like,
yeah,
like I'm probably like 70. Don't tell that to my grandpa.
Okay.
Is he 70?
I won't, don't worry.
Grandpa, don't hear this.
Turn off your ears.
I love you.
Well, that was it for like the main theme of our, or like the main portion of our podcast. But is there anything else that you want to add? Like literally anything, before we head over to the submitted questions?
Um, anything. Well. I will say if this is mostly for women's. Oh my God, that's a big point. Um, so I was doing an HSF, the Hispanic Scholarship Foundation.
Yeah.
They have a leadership conference last week, and I was one of the speakers for them. So I got all these students that they were there, and they were asking me questions live.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a couple of them, they had really good questions. They were all Latinos too, so that was so great, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. And one asking me that what I expect from like the people who works with me in the company, like in any job. And I told them that I expect respect. Because when I just started in this country, I was a server too, and I suffer. So that person gave me the opportunity to apply to a job. Was my first engineer job in this country. That was in Cleveland. Oof, long time ago. I worked for them for like 4 years, but this guy, he sexually harassed me badly.
Oh
Like,
my
and he was the
God.
vice president of the company.
Oh my
I
God.
never say anything, and I
Terrible.
kind of regret it because it's not just for you, like it's the people who is behind you, because it's always somebody that's gonna replace you, always. So I think one of the biggest thing that we need to understand as a woman in an environment that is mostly like mainly dry
Yeah.
is how to put boundaries and how to gain the respect. The respect is something that you build. You build it with time and with your job, showing them that you deserve that respect, because they need to understand that you just not a human, you're a woman that deserves that respect. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've been learning through my years in the companies. I've been in the industry for around like 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the third time that I suffer from sexual harassment. It's always happened.
Terrible.
It always
Yeah.
come back. So you need to just be aware and definitely speak out, because
Yeah.
these people need to understand the lesson. And we need to understand that it's not just for us, it's for the people they're coming. It's for the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
And that would be probably something that I want to say.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. I think that's a very big one, especially how like there's many women who don't speak up, and I totally understand like there's, they might be like scared, but I think you bring up a good point also, that it's for people who come, or women who come after you, where you also want to like make sure that they don't go through that as well. um but yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a great thing to add.
Yeah. And it can be like intimidating, especially when you're like in a male dominated field where you don't know if you're gonna get that support. Like, like even if you do speak up, but it's still important too, because like you said, like you wanna be able to, like the next person in the room, like create a better environment for them.
When they
Yeah.
know that you don't even speak the language well, like they just try
Right.
to get advance on you.
Like any
You
kind
know,
of like vulnerability like you show,
Yeah.
it's
it's like
crazy.
that's where they can like take advantage. Yeah, which is
It's
terrible. Yeah,
and it happens every day. I bet it
it
happens every day.
does. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but we need to try to work on it and definitely try to support each other. Is a really big one.
Yeah, that,
It's a
yeah.
giant. This is what we're doing right now. Is that support?
Yeah.
That is one. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love it. That's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here.
Okay.
All right.
So, and then if there's anything else you want to add, feel free to do it like at the end if you think of something. But so we are gonna move on to the submitted questions. We have 3. So first one, This person said, I know I like engineering, but I'm having trouble deciding which kind to study. Any advice?
I do.
Yay.
So I said to my boss, I don't know the answer, but I'm gonna find it. It's always a way to fix it. Always. Because my grandpa always said the only thing that you cannot fix in life is death.
Yep.
The only thing.
Yeah.
And he's right. My biggest advice is so in engineering, it's different sides, definitely. But what makes the whole difference is the passion. So usually we need to find our passion in very small things, very small behaviors, how curious you are, like what catch your attention, usually pretty often. Like you need to understand yourself and start to see, like since I was a kid, what really always catch my attention. So when you start to understand that, you start to understand, oh, I always like how the airplanes fly, how the cars move. Well, maybe you want to be a mechanical engineer. Maybe you want to be an astronaut or something like that too. So maybe aerospace engineering is for you. Are you curious about the stars, the universe, something like that? Because passion, it's something that all the companies are always looking for. Because a person that is passionate for what they do not just their job. They would go beyond the job because they feel the drive. And that drive is something that we need. When we found it, you need to hold it strongly and never let it go. Because that will take you to any position. And you want to be the president of that company? If you have and you keep that passion, you will be. And you need to be patient too, but you will find it. Definitely, my biggest advice is looking into yourself. What catch your attention? And if you don't know, it's try to do something different. So perhaps I start buying. So it's like experiments for kids. Like you can buy it online and they teach you like how to build a little engine or how to do a chemical reaction or something. So you can buy those little kits online in Amazon or something like that, that they will guide you like how like a code is writing. And they have games for that. How a chemical reaction works. So maybe I can be a chemical engineer. How an engine works. Maybe I can be and they're all for kids. And it looks very simple, but in those little ones, you can actually find something that you like. And will be entertaining and it will be a nice day. Thinking like as a date with yourself and getting to know you a little bit.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's
Honestly,
like $8.
I have one that's like for electrical engineering, like little circuits. I have one, so I was like using it. Well, I haven't used it in a while, but that's good advice, actually.
Yeah, they say it's like a crystal learning guide.
Oh, wow.
And you make crystals. And they teach you how to make the crystals and they teach you the whole thing. And it's just $8. It's amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. So you can, with that, you can find what you really like. And you can have a date with yourself too.
Yeah, that's a fun way to do it.
That
Besides,
is.
like,
Always you have to make it
researching.
fun.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to manipulate yourself.
Yeah,
That's true.
definitely.
I learned that very quick. Every time that I had a hard exam, I was like, I mean, Jesse, if you do it, I'm gonna buy you that sushi that you really like. You remember? That one that has, do you remember? With that amazing sake that you like that tastes like strawberry?
Yeah.
If you do the exam, I will do that for you. And you see, and
Yeah.
it's so strange, but every single time works. It's like I'm manipulating myself, but always works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something to look forward to after helps 100%.
You have to find what works for you, for sure.
I learn every time. Took me 30 years. Please, guys, don't take it that long. Take my advice and do it quick.
By the kid, she said. By the kid.
Do it. Definitely. And send a picture.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Send your pictures to Yessica.
100%. All my kids. Oh. Okay, let's not go that far. I don't have kids. I don't.
our next question is a little less engineering. What is your favorite thing to cook?
Oh my God. So I have a couple of sessions. I'm not a psychopath or something like that. But cooking is one of them. Every
Yes.
time that I sad, I cook. When I'm happy, I cook. When I'm thinking, I cook. When I'm hungry, I cook.
Makes sense.
When I just don't know what to do, I cook. So I cook for everything. My favorite one definitely is summer rolls.
Mm,
It's transparent, like you can see it through it. It's like
Yeah.
the rice paper stuff, and I
Yeah.
always put my favorite veggies, my favorite noodles, and I put all the shrimp that I can because I love shrimp. And I can make this peanut salsa. Oh, it's so good. They're so fresh, they're so refreshing, they're very healthy, and they're super easy to make.
Mm,
Amazing.
yeah.
I love them. They're one of my favorite. And soups. I'm a big soup person. I love soups.
Mm,
Anything that has a lot of veggies in it, not many fried things. I don't really like to fry things. They're not good for you.
no.
But definitely, yeah, summer rolls.
Mm, that sounds
I've
good.
made them. I've made them once, and like with the paper, and like my first few were like, oh, like some was like, yeah, or like like
Same.
the paper would like break. But then after, I was like, oh wait, I'm pretty good at these.
I know. They're so easy. Oh, a poke bowl. The only thing that you need for the poke is a very fresh fish. If you have fresh fish, you got it. The rice and everything is just a sushi, but just all the pieces around.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So easy, so nice, so
Yeah.
refreshing.
I've been wanting to learn how to make sushi.
It's very easy. It's
Just
super
roll it.
easy. Just
Mhm.
don't put cheese in it. We're not Americans.
Jeez.
They
I-
like cheese. They fry and they put cheese in every single thing, and I don't know why.
I don't know either. That is not. Well,
Just let's just not do that.
yeah. I won't. Don't worry.
We got this.
We're Latinas.
Last.
Just kidding.
Wait, what?
I said we're Latinas, remember?
Oh yeah. We won't have a problem with that.
Power. We wanna do sopita de carne.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh my god, I would die for one right now. But my mom cooked a really good one. I live a little far. It's okay.
Just a little bit.
I know.
It's always like my heart is broke, but it's Band-Aid. Remember?
Right. Solves everything. Everything.
Actually,
All
I
the
cut my finger, so I think I'm gonna need
I actually had a band-aid on the other day too. I had the
a
cut.
see.
The copper tape cut me.
They are the cure, guys.
Yeah. For everything.
All
Okay.
right.
So
All
our
right.
last question for Yessica is, what is nuclear engineering?
It's nuclear engineering. Nuclear engineering is the future. It's the future of the renewable energy, and will solve all our problems for any fuel problems that we have in the world. Like, hopefully, at some point of our life, probably we're not gonna be alive to see it, or maybe yes. All the houses, buildings, and cars even will have nuclear particles that can let them like continue, because the solar power, even though it's good, is no doesn't like you cannot how you can do this. So when you have solar panels, they work great, but they're pretty expensive to do the installation of them and to actually keep them moving. Like the maintenance process is very long, and they just last for a maximum of 20 years. When you have a nuclear plant, depends of the size of the nuclear plant, this fuel that is usually uranium, they work for 400 years. So in those 400 years, you don't have to take care of that very much. You just need to keep it running. So because of that, it makes it amazing. It makes it an amazing idea. Actually, the biggest ships that we have for the Navy, they're all nuclear. All of that is nuclear energy. because then eventually find out that how a fuel will be now last longer if they are in the middle of the ocean for 8 months. So now that they're nuclear, they solve the problem. So I think humans, we got afraid of the things that we don't know, and that's normal. So when you don't know something, your first reaction is just like, it's bad. You don't even know if it's bad or not, but automatically you just close your mind and you say, no, somebody told me, I read it somewhere, or I heard someone talking about it. Don't think that nuclear is gonna kill you. Eventually they can, but anything can kill you. Think about it. A fork can kill you. So it's like you just need to be afraid of the future. And to cooking, by the way, the fork is not gonna kill you soon. So
Yeah.
So one time I asked someone if you know why when the nuclear reaction is taking place, the water is blue. Any of you know why the water is blue?
No.
It's because the particles travel faster than velocity of the light. It's the only thing in the world that can travel faster than velocity of the light in terms of like chemistry. So they collide so fast that in that collation that they have, they create this sparkle. And that's the reason why they are blue. So we need the water. The water is the principal fuel to actually do the reaction in the chemical reaction to make it actually work. So after the water moves, the water create a steam, and this steam is actually what they create the energy. That's the reason why you say the plants, even in the Simpsons, you can see like a steam coming out. It's a process. The nuclear power plants is not toxic. They're not really toxic. The only big problem that we have that is quite a big problem is the recycling of the actual like fuel, that in this case is uranium. We still don't know what to do with it. We still know that even though you use it for sort amount of years, when you take it out because they're not in their maximum like power, you can still use it, even though they're gone. They're not gone. Like you can just revive them, kind of thing. And so it's a cycle that never ends. I think the biggest problem of the nuclear power right now is that because we've been having a couple of problems through the years, a couple of plans, a couple of failures, here and there. The human, it's afraid. It's really afraid about what can happen. So I'm hoping that more people study nuclear engineering because it is the future. I actually want to do my master's in nuclear energy. That's what I want to do. Because I think before I die, because I mean, eventually we're all gonna die, I want to know that I give the best of me, of humanity. So I think one of those things will be give them the possibility of have like clear energy in their houses, be safe. The nuclear, like they help in the health, like hospitals, and like it is really good. Like the chemotherapy is through actually nuclear particles. So it's just different kinds, and I think we all should give it a shot to the nuclear power because that is where all our money gonna go if we're lucky enough. Eventually the oil companies, they've been pushing a lot because they don't want to lose. The problem is that this like the oil, we're drawing the planet, we're destroying our lands, we're destroying our planet in their heart, like literally, because you have to go so deep to actually fund it that at some point it's gonna be gone for good. I think we need the gas line, the gas like be gone, because we've been related so much, and these people is just so stupid rich, and we just killing thousands of people in the Amazon and many countries, Africa, just to get that gold oil.
Yeah.
That I think that fight needs to end at some point. And I think hopefully the people that has the power, but they don't know how to manipulate the nuclear power, had enough smart to actually hire someone like Jesse that can actually give them the answer for this, and they can help them. So nuclear is the future, and I hope more people help for the future.
Wow.
That's what.
That was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
amazing. Round of applause
know.
for Yessica. I learned a
Jesse for
lot.
president.
Yay!
Well, thank you, Yessica, for joining us. We really learned a lot today. And we're grateful to have you on this episode. So this podcast will be posted on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our website.
And
we
YouTube.
will- and YouTube, yes. Yessica, when she shares any information with us, we'll also put that in the caption. And then go ahead, Victoria.
Feel free to visit our website, follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and then the other platforms that Vanessa listed as well. And stay tuned for our next episode. Hopefully by the time we release this episode, it'll be, I think, probably Friday, end of next week. But yeah, so I think that's all. Thank you again for listening if you did. I think Jessica shared a lot of important, good information. So we're happy to have you. And if you want to come back with more information, we'll have you back again.
Absolutely.
But
I'll be back as many times as you want.
Yeah. Thank you. But until then, once again, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you for our next episode.
Yay! Bye.
Bye.